BerserkirBexxx, my man, what is freaking up, dude?
Oh, dude, what's going on, man?
I am absolutely chilling, bro. I at the time of us recording this, boy, am I behind today. Jesus Christ, today has been a nightmare.
Yeah, what happened, man?
So this morning I got on this idea, which we were just talking about, but I got on this idea that I was going to last night I was going to get just high out of my mind. So I did, and with Trey, and I ended up playing that gridiron game, that football game, right?
Bro, I saw Trey at like fucking 3 o'clock in the morning playing with you.
Yeah,
like, what?
Yeah, we were up till 5 playing even after he ended stream. But yeah,
Jeez,
so I had this idea that I was gonna do that, and I was gonna just record it. So I pulled up OBS. I got a whole recording going. So anyways, this morning I was getting the YouTube video prepared because, dude, that shit, it had to have been like in the stars that my first game, stoned out of my mind, I would get the best teammates in the entire gridiron server. Like,
just God team, huh?
Dude, God, they were hilarious. It was so funny. So I've got that video coming, but so I got so deep into that I didn't get to do half the shit. So I'm walking up the stairs eating lunch before this podcast is going. I'm running around all over the fucking place trying to get everything done. But I'm here. I've had a half a piece of chicken. I've got some Pacifico. I see you sipping on some goodies. What you sipping on, bro?
Yeah, bro. I got a little Tito's, and then so it's weird because you just had Harris on it, and he was drinking one of those ices, and I got one too.
Yeah.
But dog, so he had like the can one.
Yeah,
or whatever.
He did. Yeah.
His is I don't know if it's like the same or not, but dude,
really?
I've been drinking these things like ever since I was in the military.
Really?
Yeah, bro. I've been drinking them for like 8 years now.
Damn.
So I saw that and I was like, damn, I'm not the only one that knows about them because I never see anity drink them.
I've literally that's the first time I've ever seen those. I guess I gotta get into it. So you're going Tito's with the ice?
Tito's with the sparkling ice, and then I got some Heinekens, bro.
Dude, that's so fun. You're literally back-to-back days of people drinking that. I guess I gotta go out and try it.
Yeah, bro. I saw that and I was like, there's no way. Because I thought it was like only like, you know how like the military has like their exchange store or whatever,
right.
like specific for that.
Right.
And that's like the only place that I could ever find them.
Really?
And then, and then when I moved here to this apartment, there's the gas station like right around the corner.
Yeah.
I ran over there one day and I saw him. I was like, yo, sick.
This is it.
Let's go. Yeah.
Well, that's fire. I'm jealous. I guess I gotta give it a try. I'll look for it in my stores to see if I can make it happen. Because, I mean, 2 days in a row, it's like bound. Like I have to try it now.
Yeah, it's fate at this point.
I have to try it now. But I'm sipping on a little bit of Pacifico Cerveza here.
Look at you.
Like you said, going a little south of the border. It's crazy. I saw this because I was gonna grab. You had told me that you were gonna drink some Heineken, so I was like, oh shit, let me get some Heineken. And I went towards the Heineken section where like the classier beer section of the fridge, you know. And there was like then I saw Heineken, and then I saw Stella, and I was like, ooh, let me get a Stella. And then there was like Corona, and then Pacifico, and I was like, dude, I can't even remember the last time I drank a well, I can, but like the earliest time that I can remember of me drinking a Pacifico was when I was in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. And dude, it's crazy. Like this was like a 12-pack of these is like 16 or 17 bucks, something like that, which is not that bad. It's not bad at all. It's not that bad. But dude, this in Mexico was like for one beer was like $1. Like you could
just super cheap.
Literally like $1. Like we were buying 2 liters of Tecate. We were buying the 40 ounces, excuse me, not the 2 liters. 40 ounces of Tecate down there for like $3, dude. Dude, it's crazy.
That shit is so awesome. Did I ever tell you about the time that I went to Costa Rica?
No.
Okay, so senior year, I went to Costa Rica. The way my school did it is like every 2 years, anybody that completed Spanish 2 got to go on like the Spanish club trip. They didn't have like an actual Spanish club because I mean, you know, I grew up in a super small town. Like,
Yeah, because
hold on, I gotta take these off.
you're from nowhere, Wyoming.
Dude, just fucking BFE Wyoming. Yeah, so my school was real small. Like my graduating class was like 30 kids, man.
God, that's so insane.
Yeah. But so we never really had like a Spanish club per se. So what our teacher did is he was like, anybody that completes Spanish 2 is like grandfathered into the Spanish club kind of thing.
Okay.
So that he could plan Spanish club trips for spring break.
Okay.
And it was like he would go to like Spain or Costa Rica. He had like one other place. I can't remember exactly where, but for mine, we went to Costa Rica and it was super tight. But they have the national beer of Costa Rica. It's what is it called? I can't even think of the name of it.
It's not Shinerbach, is it?
No, it's not Shiner, but it's got like a similar label.
Okay.
But it's like it almost tastes like a better tasting Coors.
Okay.
But it's super cheap down there. Like, so 17, walking down the street in Costa Rica outside of curfew because I'm a fucking degenerate, walk down the street to this convenience store and they had 6-pack of tall boys and the conversion rate for the dollar to the colones, it's like their currency or whatever.
Yeah.
It ended up being like $2 for a 6-pack of tall boys.
Dude, that's so insane, man.
Bro, it was so awesome. I spent that whole trip just drunk and high and
of course, dude. That's
so dope.
It's so crazy how some places across the world our dollar goes so much further.
So far, bro. It stretches so far.
I've talked about this in the past about going to Africa, and we were off the west coast of Africa in the Cape Verde Islands where my godfather's from, and he took us to an island over there, and there was like this little fishing village on the north or like the northwest side of the island, and this village was called Terrafal. And while you're there, you see these massive houses, like these 4 or 5 story houses that they're basically like big rectangles that are just going straight up and down. Like there's no like actual real come to a point roof. They're all extremely just rectangular, and they're all gorgeous. They're all like right near the beach, and the beach is this cobblestone beach which goes like a black sand. It's incredible, and
awesome.
We ended up we ended up meeting this family there. This Swedish family. A lot of Swedes go to these islands for hiking and to get away. And a lot of them have a lot of them have a shit ton of money. A lot of them. And we ended up befriending some people out on the beach, and they were like, "Yeah, why don't you come back to our house tonight? It's literally like just like turn around and point. It's that one right there. Come by, and we're doing like a dinner party, and like I'm just inviting everybody." So we're like, "Yeah, sure, whatever. Let's do it." And we end up going to this thing, and it's so luxurious. It almost doesn't sound real. Like the up top on the roof of the house was an outdoor kitchen with a fireplace and a wood burning oven, and then like some coverage, and then all of that overlooked the entire shoreline. It was awesome. But so talking with them, we were like, yeah, so we got on the topic of buying a house there. Like, oh, well, man, I could get used to this. I wonder how much it cost. Right. And the Swedish family that was there was like, listen, like, you don't understand. It is so cheap to build this house. You could build this exact house for less than $50,000 here with the land, with everything. And he goes, but the issue is it will take them 3 years to build it.
Oh, that makes sense.
And I'm like,
they just don't have like the technology, they don't have
and stuff. The resources, the tech, any of that stuff. They're like, so we this house took them 5 years to build, and it was way back in the day. And he was like, look, man, like this was like that's the price that you that's like eventually you're paying with something, right? Would you want to pay more money with less time, or pay the normal amount with Jesus? Like just gotta like ring it out. But dude, but it was so incredible to hear how the US dollar can go so far. I mean, you could go You could go out, pay for like 6 people in the area that I was at with $20, 20 United States dollars, and buy dinner, drinks, entree, like desserts, everything. It's so wild, man. It's so wild.
Yeah, it's really crazy to like think about that kind of stuff, because like, I mean, when I was in Afghanistan, obviously like people like dip and smoke and whatnot in the military, especially like, I mean, me, dude, like I don't smoke when I'm stateside unless I'm like hammered drunk. and then but when you're over there, there's literally just nothing to do, and like everybody goes to the smoke pit just to hang out, and it's like, all right, whatever, I guess I'm just gonna fire off some stogies.
Of course, yeah, I'm bored.
Yeah, so like you buy from, you know, the locals on the base or whatever,
right?
And like stateside, a carton of cigarettes is like $80 or whatever, right?
Yeah, they're actually like really
stupid
expensive.
Yeah, stupid expensive. But then you get a carton of cigarettes, the 10 packs or whatever. Dude, I got some for $3 over there.
That's insane.
And I mean, it wasn't like, you know, high quality tobacco like Camel or whatever. It's like, I'm probably gonna die anyways.
Yeah,
but it's like, dude,
whatever. Might as well party.
I'm already killing myself with cigarettes, so it's like, might as well just make it faster, I guess. You know, like whatever.
Yeah,
dude.
We're not taking any risk. I mean, we're taking all the risks we want here.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, like, you want to get like some Camels. Like, there were some dudes over there that were like, man, I just gotta smoke my Camel Crushes. I'm like, why? Like, I don't get it.
Jesus, dude.
And so they're paying like $120 a carton because they got to get them shipped over there and stuff, you know, and they got to make up the price for that. So they're paying like $120 for a carton of cigarettes. I'm like, dude, I got these Afghan cigarettes for $3. Like, what's up?
I'm sure they're doing the same job, bro.
Yeah,
I remember smoking those Camel Crushes, dude, whenever I was way, way younger, when I was like 18. Like being able to snag them from somebody and be like, crush that little ball in there. Go, ooh, yeah, this is.
Yeah, let me get that menthol,
I feel
baby.
so good right now. I feel
Dude,
so good.
real.
Jesus.
For real.
Speaking of Afghanistan, how long were you over there? Backtrack. Military man for quite a long time. Well, a pretty decent amount of time. I don't know. I don't know what quite a long time is in the military. Whenever I think about like. I think of like my parents. Like my dad did 24, and that took 24 years, and that to me is
that's
like
a long time.
That's a
dude.
long fucking time.
That's a long
bro.
time, especially in the military.
Yeah,
dude. Like, that's a long time.
He did 24, and my mom did 26, 20, 22, 26. It's either up 2 or down 2, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you were in the Air Force, correct?
Yeah, I was in the Air Force for 6 years. So I only did like one contract. I did one term.
Okay.
It was kind of one of those things, like, figured I would do it. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a Marine, like, really bad. You know, I found out about the Marine Corps in 6th grade, and I was like, that's like my ultimate dream.
I feel like every kid went through that too.
Yeah. And then the day I turned 17, my parents signed the contract with me. So I was in the DEP, the delayed entry program.
Oh,
like, I was about it, dude.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was about it. But I couldn't leave until I graduated high school.
Okay.
So finished out my senior year, graduated and everything. And then I was honestly supposed to be in boot camp when I was still 17. But I was talking to my recruiter and whatnot, and I was like, hey, my mom wants to give me a tattoo for my birthday. Is that cool? And he's like, not ideal, but he's like, as long as it can be covered by a t-shirt, and we'll get you a waiver. He's like, we'll get you a waiver for it. Like, no big deal. No, not a problem. Whatever. So I got my chest piece, the rocker.
Yeah.
That was like my early 18th birthday present for my mom. And
dude, cool parents. My mom would have never done that.
Well, both of my parents have tattoos, so they couldn't say anything about it. Yeah,
true.
You know. So got the tattoo, got the waiver, like I was all good to go. And then the MEP center that I was supposed to go to was in Denver. Okay. So we would have to travel back and forth. Well, the MEP station there, like 3 weeks before I was supposed to ship out for boot camp, they got a new liaison for the Marine Corps office. Well, they were like moving a bunch of offices and stuff down there, and they lost like a whole bunch of recruits' paperwork. Mine being one of them. Yikes. So they had a list of recruits that like lost all their paperwork, but they didn't have any of the paperwork. So they had like just empty files, right?
Yeah.
So the day I was supposed to ship out, I'm down. I go through the whole thing, you know, like the final process to ship out. I'm just waiting. And then over the intercom, I hear recruit Becker come to the Marine Corps liaison office. I'm like, am I leaving already? Because like nobody else has been called. Like, what the fuck is going on? You know? So I walk in there and it was this short sergeant, this E5, like short guy. And so I'm like looking down at him. He's like, so you're the one with the tattoo, huh? And I was like,
Jesus.
Like in my mind, I'm like, yo, you better dial it back a little bit, bro. Like,
yeah,
what the fuck?
And you're all fired up at 17 or 18, whatever, and
yeah,
ready
dude,
to just test it out. Yeah,
dude, yeah, I got so much testosterone just ripping through my veins. And like, you better chill the fuck out, you know. And I was like, yes, sir. You know, I got a waiver for it. Everything's good. It's covered by a T-shirt. Like, it's good to go. Blah blah blah. And he's like, oh, so you're telling me that I'm doing my job wrong? And I was like, no, absolutely not. Like, you know, me and my recruiter, we worked it out. Like, we're covered. Like, it's good to go. He's like, get your recruiter in here. I was like, okay. And my recruiter was a prior recon Marine. Like,
oh,
dude,
like a
dude
big...
did the thing.
Yeah,
dude did the damn thing. You know.
Yeah.
He was like, so he's like 6'4", like 230, just yoked out of his mind. You know.
Yeah.
And he was doing the recruiting duty just so he could get better promotions, basically.
Okay, gotcha.
So I go out and I call him in, and he was an E6. So I call him in, and they start talking or whatever, and comes out that they lost a bunch of paperwork and they didn't have mine, and my recruiter lost his fucking mind.
Really?
Freaked out, because like, dude, I'd been in the Dep for a year. I showed up to all the functions that I had to. Like, I was crushing PT scores. Like, I was good to go.
Right.
Like, I was ready to go be an infantry Marine.
Yeah.
You know? And my recruiter's like, what the fuck did you just do? You just, like, lost the best recruit out of the state of Wyoming, blah, blah, blah. Like, knocked a whole bunch of stuff off dude's desk.
Jesus.
Yeah. And the recruiter was like, hold on. We'll see if we got a shirt. And he tossed me a Dress Charlie shirt. It's the khaki short sleeve button up shirt.
Okay.
And he's like, put this on. And I was like real skinny at the time. I was like 150 pounds, you know? And he's like, put this on. So I threw it on and I was like, yo, this is way too big. He's like, that's the smallest one we got. So I buttoned it up, and then so the D on it says "In God." This little part, I didn't have all the filigree, but like that little part stuck out of the dress shirt.
Oh,
and that was it.
No.
And he's like, you're fucked. We can't do anything for you. I was like, bro, dude, what?
We're talking about tattoos right now. Like,
yeah,
we're talking about, which is so insane, because like the fact that that's even a conversation now. I get it. I get it that tattoos aren't really, quote, like, you know, in the norm right now. I know they're shifting to it. I know they're making their way to it, but it's so insane that they would literally go, hey, you're fucked. Like, you can't do it. Because I mean, it's almost like every military guy has tattoos. It is a very rare occasion to see somebody not sleeved out in some way, shape, or form, leg, arm, whatever. Like, that to me is like, that's blowing my mind, that one little portion of that, just that alone, like, regardless, not even in the context of, oh, well, it's a tattoo, anything like that. We're talking like 2 inches showing and you're out. You're fucked. It's ridiculous.
It was less than 2 inches, man.
That's ridiculous.
It was like a half an inch. Yeah. And if I would have had a shirt that actually fit, it would have been fine. But the shirt that they had, the smallest one that they had, was still too big for me at the time.
God, that's
insane.
I
was like, dude, what the fuck, man? But so yeah, I got disqualified, and my recruiter's like, look, man, like, we can go through this all again, and we can still get you in. And at that point, I was like, yo, you literally just crushed my dreams. I wanted to be a Marine. I was like, I wanted to be a Marine since 6th grade. And I get that it was still like kind of on me because I got the tattoo. I could have not gotten the tattoo.
Right.
But I was like, dude, I was so ready. And it got, you know, just yoinked out from under me. But, you know, at the same time, it was back in 2010. You know,
I guess that is a little bit further away. Yeah.
Afghanistan was still pretty popping, you know. Me gonna be in infantry, like, probably saved me some shit.
Yeah,
you know?
dude. That was immediately where my mind was going. I was like, God, dude, like, imagine if you had gone, though. You know, where we might not even know each other now.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, my life would be completely different. I would be a completely different person. But anyways, fast forward a couple years. My brother ended up leaving for the Air Force in like early 2012, I think it was early 2012 or like real late 2011. And I kind of pushed the military like out of my mind. I was like, I'm not gonna do that. That I already saw how that was gonna go. Like whatever.
Yeah.
So I worked construction for a couple years. Went back to road construction, and then I built houses for a year. And then I went and I saw my brother's basic training graduation from the Air Force,
Right.
and I was like, all right, man, I still want to be in the military.
Still got
like,
that
seeing
itch.
that,
Yeah.
seeing that, I was like, dude, I still want to be in the military. So I talked to a recruiter, and he was like, what do you want to do? My brother was security forces, so I was like, I don't necessarily want to do security forces, but I know about it.
Right.
So I wanted to do some kind of special operations job. So I wanted to do either combat control, TACP, or EOD. Combat control is like bare base, setting up airfields before anybody even gets there.
Okay.
Like fighting alongside like Army SF and stuff like that.
Okay.
TACP are the ones that call in the airstrikes.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, like they're the ones talking to the planes, so like they get attached to like Army infantry units and stuff. And then EOD is obviously bomb disposal.
Right.
So I wanted one of those, and my recruiter's like, look, we don't have a contract for that for like 10 months. I was like, I can't wait that long.
Right. Okay.
Like, just get me in. He's like, well, you can always cross train. I was like, all right, tight. Like, as long as I have the opportunity to go do that at some point, then I'm cool with it.
Cool. Okay.
So I took security forces, which is the Air Force version of MPs. Signed the contract, and then I was literally shipping out to basic like 2.5 weeks later.
Holy hell. Dude,
it was like
it got in
it was
quick.
The quickest, yeah, it was the quickest process ever. He's like, dude, we can literally get you out like tomorrow. I was like,
all right,
perfect. Let's
here we go.
Let's run it. Yeah, so went to basic training, did that stuff, and then my brother was stationed down in Tampa at MacDill, and with him being security forces, I was like, sure, I'll put MacDill on there.
Yeah,
like we'll see. It'd be super tight to be stationed with my brother.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I put a bunch of like off the wall bases that I figured I would have gone to. Like I put Korea, some overseas bases.
Oh wow.
And like I was ready to just go off and do stuff.
Right.
So put MacDill. That was the only stateside base that I put.
Jesus. And that's the one you got?
Like, yeah, they're like,
holy hell.
Like they let you do like a dream sheet is what they call it.
Right.
You get like five overseas bases and then 5 stateside bases. I was like, I don't really want to go stateside, so I'm just gonna put overseas.
Okay.
It's like whatever, MacDill, I'll throw that on there just to have one.
Yeah.
Ended up getting MacDill stationed there, so I spent 6 years there, hanging out with the brother. Met a lot of cool people, dude. Super good time, man.
That is super cool. I don't. Obviously, I haven't had the opportunity to really kick it with my brother a whole lot since he's up in Seattle. But dude, I can imagine being stationed there with your brother too would be a damn good time, bro.
Dude, it was super fun, man.
I bet.
I guess it's like a pretty rare thing that like family members like get stationed together, which was like weird. Yeah, which is weird to me.
I mean, it makes sense. Kind of.
Yeah, everybody I would talk to had like heard about like a couple people or whatever, but like had never met anybody that was stationed together.
Damn.
Like my brother and I, we ended up having like an article written about us and stuff.
What?
For, like, it was like in the base paper, and then it ended up getting like shared on like the Air Force like Facebook page and stuff like that.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's rad, man. Especially being down in Tampa too. Like being in Tampa is not. I mean, there's a lot worse bases out there, dude.
Absolutely.
In Tampa is fun, man. There's a bunch of shit to do in Tampa.
Dude, it was so good for like early 20s. Like you got all the sports, all kinds of bars.
All the sports,
Yeah, you got the Rays, you got the Lightning. They even got an arena football team. They got the Bucks,
it's so tight. Yeah.
And like, I guess one thing I didn't know until I got there was like wrestling is a big thing too.
In Tampa, it is?
Yeah, dude.
Really?
Like, yeah, bro. They had like.
We talking like WWE?
Yeah, dude. Like they got like training facilities there.
No.
Yeah, bro. We actually
Jesus
we gotta
Christ.
do a tour of like the little training facility. So like they start off at like what is it, like the TCW or whatever,
Dude,
like,
I have fucking no
dude,
clue.
me neither. After The Rock and Stone Cold retired, I stopped watching. I was like, that we're done here.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I guess like it's like the step down from like the WWE or whatever.
Okay.
Like you got to go through that to like make it to the
make it, yeah,
WWE.
okay.
Yeah, so like they got like training facilities there, and like we got to take a tour and stuff. Like it's
What
crazy,
the
man.
fuck? That's so wild. So when did
Yeah.
when did you end up taking your first tour from there?
So my first deployment was in 2013. So I'd been at McDill for about a year.
Okay.
I think it was like just under a year.
Okay.
I ended up going to Kyrgyzstan, which is, it's like north, I think northeast, if I remember right, of Afghanistan.
Okay.
So it's like Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan and then Afghanistan.
All the stands.
Yeah, you know. Ended up going there. The base that I was at is shut down now. So
Oh,
that was
really?
cool. Yeah, I was like the second to last team to actually be like deployed there.
Oh,
so that was
shit,
pretty
okay.
cool. Yeah, that was a fun time.
What were you doing during like that whole deployment? Like
So
what was the main day to day?
it was super like non-combat. The base that I was at was, they considered it a transit base, so people would fly into there before they went to Afghanistan.
Okay.
So like commercial flight to where I was, and then take a military flight from there to Afghanistan.
Okay.
But I was working in the search pit. So like any vehicles or personnel coming in on and off the base, we would search them, you know, do that whole thing, which was super chill.
Really?
Because like we would work for like 2 hours at the beginning of shift, chill for like 8, and then work for like 2 to 4 hours at the end of the shift.
That's pretty rad, actually.
Yeah, like we had a TV set up, dude. We would like hook up like laptops and stuff to the TV
Tight,
and just watch movies for like 8 hours, you know? It was super tight. Yeah, like so super easy day to day. I'd literally like wake up, go get food, arm up, go get more food, get a to-go meal, eat it during shift, get midnight chow, get a to-go meal, eat that.
Yeah,
go to the gym.
And yeah, you were working out a bunch of that time, huh? Because
dude, yeah, that's where I started.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah, that's what you. I think you told me in the past, whenever I first started to start, you know, actually getting active. You were like, dude, I put on a ton of mass when I was overseas.
Dude. So I got there at like anywhere between like 140 and like 148.
Okay.
Which is skinny.
Yeah.
For a dude my height.
Right.
You know, it's 6'3", 145 pounds. I was tiny.
A stick, bro.
Yeah. So I was like 145 pounds, and then I weighed myself like right when I got back to the States, and I was like 197.
God damn, bro.
Yeah.
That's putting on heat over there, dude. It's crazy.
But, I mean, I was there for like 6 months, and I think I only took like 8 days off of the gym. And dude, I was doing nothing but eating.
Eating, working out, drinking, eating, working out.
It was.
I mean, fuck. There's nothing else to do.
Actually, there was nothing.
Yeah, I mean, fuck it. You might as well, right? God, I mean, even if I feel like even if I was somebody that was in that situation, even if I was over there and I was in the mindset of like, holy shit, this sucks, I'm just not gonna do anything, or like in that similar form of similar state of mind. I can imagine that at some point in time, I would go, holy shit, I'm so bored. I might as well just work out. Like, I might as well do something else other than sit. Yeah. Like, was it hot as fuck there?
In Kyrgyzstan, no. So it's like right at the base of the Alps.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like you could see the Swiss Alps from the base.
Damn. I bet that was rad.
Crazy. It was tight. I mean, I say like right at the base, but it wasn't like right at the base.
Of course not. Yeah.
The mountains are just so huge that like as far away as we were, they looked like regular mountains. But like, dude,
that's wild.
It was sick though. I should see if I could find some pictures and send them to you. Cause like I took some awesome pictures while we were there. Yeah, like good like sunsets and stuff in the mountain. I'll see if I can find them.
Yeah.
yeah, man, like it wasn't hot. I was there in the winter. I think I got there in like September or something like that. So like it was snowing and stuff, dude, and it was like wicked
What?
cold.
That's crazy.
Yeah, dude, it was really crazy because like I was thinking it was gonna be like hot as shit.
Yeah,
You know?
that's anytime I ever hear anything about any of the stands over there, I immediately go, dude, it's got to be hot as fuck there. Like I've seen videos of dudes' boots melting on the concrete. It gets so hot there.
Yeah, and I was expecting that too, but I didn't really think about like the geographic location of Kyrgyzstan with it being like more north.
Right.
And then like obviously I ended up going to Afghanistan like later on.
What was the difference there? Was it hot as fuck there?
So it depends on where you are in Afghanistan. So like northern Afghanistan is in the mountains, like the Hindu Kush mountains and stuff.
Okay.
So like it gets cold in the winter there too, and it snows there.
Damn. You're blowing my.
Really...
I probably sound like some stupid American that doesn't know any fucking geography.
I was the same fucking. I was the same way. Like as soon as they're like,
so
hey,
insane.
Yeah, as soon as they're like, hey, you got to do like a flyaway mission to Afghanistan, I was like, fuck, dude, it's gonna be hot. And they're like, what are you talking about? It's like November. I'm like, what? Like I'm going to a desert. It's gonna be hot as fuck.
Yeah.
They're like, no, we're issuing you cold gear. I'm like,
holy shit. Damn, that's
why do I get it?
That's when you know it's real, though.
Yeah,
when the cold gear starts coming out, like, dude, that's when you know it's real. Yeah, crazy.
So like, northern Afghanistan is like mountainous and like gets cold in the winter and stuff like that. But then southern Afghanistan is like super arid and desert. So like, down there is where it's just hot as fuck and like you see people fucking falling out, just sweating their ass off and shit. But luckily, I never had to go down there. I was always like up in the mountainous areas.
Hey, thank God.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I would have fucking hated it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I spent 6 months in Kyrgyzstan and then came back, went like a long time without going overseas. And then since I had deployed before, I had my government passport.
Okay.
So like there's the travel passport, which like the blue one or whatever,
yeah.
And then there's the government passport, which is red.
Oh shit, okay.
Yeah, so that just allows like different kind of travel basically. Okay. So like you're traveling on an official capacity basically.
Right. You don't still have that, do you?
No.
Oh, okay. They yoinked that back.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, we're gonna need that back. So my unit actually got tasked with like some prisoner escort missions.
Okay.
When they shut down Guantanamo.
Oh, okay.
And they were like, we need people that have the OCP uniform, like the multicam uniform, a government passport, and like I think it was like 3 years time in service or something like that.
Okay.
So they like went through a list of people and I was one of them. So I got to do some prisoner escort missions over there, which was really tight because it was like escorting them to Afghanistan, doing like
just like what in a plane, like
yeah, like
or a helicopter or
a government plane. So like we flew out of MacDill, we picked them up and then flew over to Afghanistan on it was a C-17, and then we would touch down, we would hand them off to the people there, and then we would just hang out for another rotator back to the States.
Right.
So like we were never officially assigned to that base. So like we were literally just hanging out. Like we didn't have to do any work.
So when you're actually transporting them, are you in like direct contact with these guys? Like I mean, and how many were you transporting at a time? 1, 2?
It would really depend on like however many like got released.
Okay.
I think the most that I ever saw was like 4. It was like 4 or 5,
right?
Something like that. And obviously it was like depending on how many we were taking, it was anywhere between 5 to 10 of us or whatever.
Okay.
That way, we could always have somebody,
with
them. And,
of course. What was
always had the advantage and stuff.
What was their were they in full shackles? Like describe to me what these guys are all in. When you guys are transporting them.
So, according to their religion, they couldn't be handcuffed with metal handcuffs.
Okay.
so we would use zip ties.
Okay.
It was just zip ties and then like the black bag over their head.
Okay.
You know, it wasn't like, yeah, it wasn't like super like inhumane, and like pretty relaxed for the most part, because
Right.
it's like they weren't really wearing anything crazy, you know, like
Right.
didn't have to search them. There's no way that they're getting, they literally just came from a fucking prison. There's no
Right.
way they're getting anything, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was like pretty relaxed for the most part, just like, hey, sit down. If you need to, you know, use the facilities, like let us know, but you know, whatever, like otherwise you're just sitting there with a bag over your head and just deal with it.
What were you guys all rocking? Were you guys super strapped up or what?
It's a stereotypical like get up for us, like plate carrier like that over there. And then we would carry what was like a duty load for a deployment, which was 210 rounds of extra, and then our M4 pistol, you know, extra ammo for that, and then just like regular uniform, like nothing like wild or anything like that, you know.
But
nothing
I mean,
like out of the norm. But
I mean, dude, like if imagine that prisoner without that bag over his head, 10 dudes all M4'd out, like, hey, sit the fuck down. Shut up. Yeah, like, dude, that's so. Did you guys ever have anybody try and make some moves, or what's up?
Yeah, it was real low key shit. Like they knew they'd been in the system for so long.
Oh,
you know? Like these dudes weren't like, they were bad guys, but like they'd been in the system for so long, like they knew what the fuck was up.
Yeah,
they weren't gonna try anything.
Yeah, there's just no point.
They're going home, like they weren't like, yeah, this is the time, you know. Like they weren't gonna try anything. But yeah, did a couple of those, and then I ended up joining the SWAT team after that, and then spent 3 years on that. Got out, and then the most recent time that I was in Afghanistan was actually as a civilian. I was contracting, and you knew about that.
Yeah. You had ended up you told me that you got out and then decided to go back for like some like diplomatic security detail kind of thing, right?
No, so the last one was just static security. It was basically the same type of gig that I was doing in the Air Force, just as a civilian. Yeah.
Is this next time that you're going? Is that in the, if you know, if all things work out, is that the diplomatic kind of side of things?
Yeah, that one's the diplomatic security one.
Gotcha. I wonder. I wonder. I mean, and maybe you already have some insight. Maybe you know what do you think is going to be the difference between going over there for the diplomatic side of things as opposed to going over there doing static security?
Dude, honestly, I really I don't know. Like I know a couple guys. Yeah, I know a couple guys like on the same type of gig, but like I really don't know what to expect. You know, it's kind of one of those things. It's like I kind of know what to expect. It's going to be like similar to what I've done, you know, while I was in the Air Force on the SWAT team. But like I've never done never really like talked about any of it with the guys. Like it's just kind of, and that's kind of how I kind of want it to be, you know. It's like
just show up on the fly and figure it out.
Yeah. I just kind of want to just show up, you know, and just see what's up.
What are you going to be doing to prepare for that next deployment over there? Like, are you like when you got news that this was going to be happening, did you immediately go, oh shit, okay, I need to start shooting more? I need to, obviously I know that you've always been exercising, but I know that you're exercising even more now. I do know that, but as far as like, you know, physical combat, what are you doing to prepare for that? Because you know it has been a while. Like that's immediately where my mind goes. Like, all right, well, he's been out for a little while now. Obviously, he still has that skill set in the back of his head, but probably a little bit rusty. So, like, what's the plan? Are you gonna try and make some moves to go shooting, to go fighting? You know, whether it be like some form of like BJJ or just in the gym boxing. Like, what's the plan?
Honestly, I haven't really thought about it too far, because I'm still going through like the clearance process and stuff like that. They got to do the whole background check, and that can take anywhere from like 6 to 8 months is what they say. So
my God, dude, what is
typical?
Like, dude, you talk about one of the slowest systems on the face of planet Earth. It's not any plant. It's not any, probably the only slower system than the government is fucking evolution. Like, Jesus Christ. I don't understand it.
I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure humans would evolve before the government evolves.
I don't understand it, man. It's so
I don't get
insane.
it either. But I mean, it's just
The way
hurry up and wait,
yeah,
you know?
why is that such a stigma of like literally everyone knows that the government is going to take for fucking ever with everything. I get it. They
Dude,
gotta
I
make decisions and they gotta do all the but Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah.
It's
And the
insane.
stupid thing is I've already had this same clearance. I've had it before.
Right.
It's
Right.
like,
So it should be like, okay, he's already got it. Let's do like a quick little brush up. All right, he's good to go. Let's send it.
yeah, let's check out his recent history
Yeah.
and then fucking move it along.
Yeah,
like,
we're
there's
good
no
to go.
point, you know? But yeah, so I mean, I haven't really like thought about it too much. You know, I'm gonna continue to work out, you know, run a little bit more. As
Yeah.
far as like the shooting and like the you know the fighting training, I haven't really thought about that kind of stuff because like it never really was like up on the BJJ.
Okay.
You know, like I fought MMA for 2.5 years before I joined the military, and like we
Right.
talked about that a little bit.
Yeah.
But like after that, I just never really like trained all that much with it.
Mhm.
But you know, maybe once it gets closer, I might do something like that. And
Yeah.
like the shooting is just kind of like one of those things. It's like so natural for me at this point
Right.
that it's
Yeah.
like I might, you know, hit the range a few times before just to, you know, make sure, you know, everything's dialed in
Right.
and, you know, whatever. But it's pretty much just muscle memory, everything so far.
It's like riding a
So
bike.
just,
Yeah.
yeah, you know, it's like
I'm
pick it up and good to go.
and get back to it. Yeah, that's I was saying this the other day. I have desperately got to go shooting again. It's been like it's been so long for me that I'm not even I don't know how comfortable I'd be with shooting my shooting my pistol, but not only in just a shooting form, but like shooting and moving has got to be one of the hardest things for me without question, especially because you know, there's not many ranges to train at that gives you the opportunity to shoot
Yeah,
and move.
man.
And
Honestly.
I think that's one of the big, like, don't get me wrong, I do believe that accuracy and technique and form and repetition is a very great way to improve your shooting ability, but up to a certain height, right? Up to that certain level, because at some point you got to fucking move your feet. Like, you know,
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
if things are going down, you're not standing still and you're not okay, here we go. Let's just like, all right, let's adjust. It's on the move. Let's get shit rolling. Like, and for a
100%.
lot of people, man, and I'm one of them. I'm definitely not one of them. I'm definitely not a person to say, oh my God, I could do that. No problem. But like, I'm definitely one of them where the thought of having to shoot and move and keep my feet in a like combat ready stance, you know, and moving between whatever it may be, cover, targets, whatever, is a terrifying thought because it's a difficult thing to do. It's a very difficult thing to do, to be on target and move at the same time. And it sucks that there's such a limited availability to be able to do that in the States.
Man.
I know of like two really well-known ones, but of course, you know, those are like the ones that everybody knows about, where all like the celebrities and shit go. But you know, I'm not a celebrity. You're not a celebrity.
I'm just me, dude.
Yeah, I'm not flying out to LA for the week to go shoot. Like, dude, this is like I need something like that at home, and I feel like probably the only real way to do it yourself is to probably, you know, own some land.
Property.
And not have anybody around. But even at that point, if you're not if you're not a like highly skilled in the area of moving and shooting, and you're just going into it, and you're just gonna be like, okay, well, I'm gonna move between these targets and shoot. Granted, yeah, I feel like that'll make you better, but it'll also force bad habits if you're doing it by yourself and not getting actually coached by these guys who have had tons of years of experience of running a range and actual combat shooting. So, dude, I wish there was something like that around here, especially, I mean, in Raleigh. But yeah, you know, it's crazy, man, because that's such an important part of combat itself.
Yeah, it really is. And like, I don't like to speak on like, you know, like actual like combat engagements because I've never been in one,
Right.
you know. And honestly, I hope that I never
Never
do.
do.
You know?
Yeah.
That's like best case.
Yeah.
If it happens, I'm prepared for it, but
Yeah.
like I hope that I never have to,
Yeah.
you know.
That
But
I think is a very big thing. Like there, like I got my concealed carry whenever I was right when I turned 21. Like the day after
yeah,
I turned 21 in Florida, I immediately went and got one just because I felt like I needed to have personal protection on me at all times. Like
100%.
the world is going to shit, and by no means am I like this like stern Second Amendment, like they're taking away our guns and like no one will take this away from me, like whatever. I'm not that guy. But I do believe that everybody should have something to protect themselves, loved ones, and people around them. And so
100%. I'm right there with you.
yeah, and so whenever I turned 21, I immediately went and got this concealed carry license, excuse me. And you know, whenever I finally got that, it gave me like a sense of responsibility of like, hey man, like you need and this is where I'm behind in the curve is it gave me that sense of responsibility of like, hey, like if you're going to carry this, you need to be the best that you can be with it. So you need to
100%.
practice. You need to know what you've got. You need to know what you've got. You need to know what you've got on your side. Like you've got life and death on your side right now. And
Right.
to be able to like actually go out there and take care of that is and learn and train and the craft is such an amazing thing. But with that being said, there's nothing in me that has ever been like I want to kill somebody. Like
absolutely.
I never want to be in a situation. If I could go my entire life without ever having to see somebody die or it be at my hand for whatever reason, my
Right.
life will be complete. I never want that to happen. But if the time comes and it has to happen, you have to be
ready.
You have to
Yeah.
be ready. Like I mean, because when it comes down to it, if it's my life or somebody else's, it's somebody else's. Like
100%.
so it's definitely something that I think everybody should look into, and I think a lot more people are looking into getting concealed and buying weapons right now, especially with Jesus Christ, with the way things are going in the world around us. I think everybody's really getting into it now.
Yeah, man. People are getting in fist fights over toilet paper,
Jesus
dude. Like,
Christ.
yeah. But no, I'm 100% with you. Like, it's kind of one of those things. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. You know.
Definitely with that.
But it always sucks because everybody's like, oh, well, it's so easy to get a gun. Anybody can have a gun. Blah blah blah, whatever. And it's like, yeah, and I do think that there needs to be some changes, you know, to like gun buying.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's also on the gun owner's responsibility to take the proper precautions, get properly trained, and so on and so forth, you know.
Right.
Which I'm a huge proponent for is like proper training.
Yeah.
Like,
of course.
if you're gonna own a gun, you gotta practice with it. You gotta make sure that you're doing everything right.
Yeah.
And you brought up the training by yourself kind of thing. And it's wild because there's so much information online.
There is.
They're like finding the right information is kind of hard, but once you like find the right information and you're like, okay, I can do that, you can do that on your own.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, you're right. You're definitely right. I just feel like there's so much of the, well, this works for me in the world, right? Where one thing might not work with you, and so finding those, like filtering out that stuff and making it work
100%.
for you, I'm definitely on board with that.
100%. But like, I mean, it's like everybody always talks about, like, drill the basics. As soon as you have the basics down, everything else is gonna just fall into place.
Right.
You know? Like, so I ended up becoming a actual, like, I guess you could say, instructor for new team members when I was on the SWAT team at McDill. I think I'd been on the team for about 2 years, and competed in the SWAT roundup. You know, proved myself. I was an entry team leader, you know. So I spent a lot of time like training new team guys that we would get.
Right.
And boy, did they fucking hate me.
Really?
They hated me because every single day that we would start, like we would have like a week of training every month where all we did was just train building, clearing, range days, all that stuff, you know, like we would go over like route plan, all the stuff in that week. Every single day, as soon as everybody like got their gear, got their weapons, we would meet in what we called the guard mount room. It's just a big room that, you know, we could line up, you know, dry fire and stuff.
Yeah.
I would make every single person do 50 draws.
with their pistol?
With their pistol. 50 draws from the holster.
Just from the holster up into your work zone. Yeah.
Over and over and over. And I mean, I would try to like make games out of it, you know, like the slowest person had to do like 10 push-ups or whatever, you know, that way it gave them an incentive to get it out.
Right.
You know, stuff like that. And then like I would make them do 50 transitions from rifle to pistol. Dude, it just the super basic stuff.
That's it.
You know,
that's it.
But I would drill it and drill it and drill it and drill it. And then I actually had a kid come to me. He'd been on the team for like 8 months at the time, and we were doing some sim round training. It's like the high velocity paintball, basically.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah. So we were doing that, and he ended up having a jam on his rifle, on his M4, and he said without even thinking about it, he jammed, automatically transitioned to the pistol, took out the target, and then pushed through. And I was like, that's why I do those things. That's why I'm the dickhead.
Yeah, you're exactly right, dude.
It's for stuff like that, because then it becomes
second nature, you know, man. It's just muscle memory at that point. Like, oh shit, like your mind is like you don't even go into the panic mode of like, oh my god, my gun's jammed. What the fuck do I do? Instead, it's just like immediate. Like here we are. Like let's get it rolling. That's fire, man. And that, you know, that's one thing that I think translates not only into shooting but also into life, dude. Like, I mean, there's so many things that not only shooting, the things that you do in shooting will work, but you know, stuff like that translates into real life, where, you know, the more repetition you get into something that you're into, whether it be work, hobby, fun, whatever it may be, the better you're gonna get at it.
100%, man. That's just kind of like a thing that I like to live by. Is just like, if you master the basics of anything, you'll be able to master, you know, to the highest level.
Right. Yeah. You know,
it all stacks on that.
Yeah,
you know
exactly. I yesterday I had Harris Heller on the podcast, and I talked with him a little bit, and you know, he made a great point as to being like, hey, you know, anybody can learn 80% of something within a couple months. You can learn 80%, which is a little bit more than the basics, right? And then you learn the remaining 20% in the next, you know, 6 years, whatever it may be.
100%. Yeah.
And you know, just learning enough to be dangerous is of anything, not shooting, not sports, like literally anything that you're interested in or not interested in, but need to be well versed in it. I think that learning 80% of something is awesome. And then just that way you have that knowledge, you have the ability to lean on what you know based off of what's happening in the world right now, like whether you're just having a conversation with somebody, or whether it be you're on the range and some shit like that happens and something but you're that 80% of you kicks in and you're good to go. Yeah,
man, absolutely. You know, I mean, it's the same with video games and streaming. You know, like everybody always talks like, oh yeah, you know, I want to be as good as, you know, Shroud or, you know, whatever. And I mean, dudes like that, there's a certain innate ability in them.
Some guys just got it, man. And Shroud is fucking scary.
Dude, yeah, but he's also spent so much of his life just doing that thing.
He is in,
you know,
like we talk about, you know, that 80% takes a couple months. Like anybody can learn 80% of anything, and then we'll say that it takes 6 years to get the rest of that 20%. My dog is in year 8. Like he's 8 years. Like, dude, there is a different, there is a different level of shooter in that human. Like It is insane.
Absolutely.
We were watching his like top like most clutch 1v5s in history, and it is
He's in CS.
it's scary how good he is.
Dude,
Scary.
it's nuts,
I can't
bro.
believe it. I can't believe it.
It's nuts. Yeah, and that he's one of those guys like me as an average person. I could spend the 6 years
Right.
trying to master the last 20%, and I'm
Yeah.
have not going to be as good as him.
No, never.
You know?
As long as that guy has a computer and can continue to play, he will forever have an advantage. I mean, think about all the times where, you know, if and again, it happens. It definitely does happen. I mean, no one's perfect, and everybody, especially in video games, you're gonna have good days, you're gonna have bad days, you're gonna have lag, you're gonna have game issues, you're gonna not see somebody, whatever it may be. But if you kill Shroud in a video game, you are undeniably on another level of excitement because you just killed the greatest. Doesn't matter what happened. Like, you are at another level because that guy has eyes in the back of his fucking head. He's so good.
For real. It's nuts.
It's insane.
If I ever, you know, I don't really play the games that he plays, but if I ever kill Shroud in any shooting game, I uninstall. I'm like, I'm the best.
I won.
I go out. I go out on top. I win here.
I won.
I killed Shroud.
That's
I
it.
killed Shroud. I'm the best. See you later. And
Dude.
then I leave the game. I uninstall.
And we
I
never
don't
play
ever
it again. Yeah.
Yep.
Dude, how crazy is the Shroud coming back and him banging out those numbers, dude? I mean,
it's wild, man.
It's him and Doc, dude. Him and Doc
yeah,
both,
of them.
man. It's so insane to see those numbers. First of all, you know, everybody's still speculating, trying to figure out what the hell happened with Doc. What actually went down, and I don't know if we'll ever know. I hope we do, but I don't know if we'll ever know. But I mean, those two guys both coming back in their own specific way. You know, Doc hitting everybody with the meme of day one not actually going live, but just having like music, like
the song on repeat.
Genius. Jesus Christ, he's so smart. And then the next day, what did he break? Did he break like 518 or something like that?
Yeah, I think it was like 517, 518K.
That's insane. And then Shroud comes back 4 or 5 days later, or maybe not even that, maybe only a couple days later. I don't even remember now. A couple days later, and absolutely dominates too. He was in like the 400 and
I think he peaked at like 510 as well.
Dude, that's so insane, man.
Fucking nuts.
These guys are
dude.
coming back. I saw like a video of Shroud being like just like middle of the way through talking, him just being like, yeah, you know, if like in this exact monotone voice, yeah, you know, if you guys have Amazon Prime, feel free to subscribe for free with Amazon Prime. And his entire chat, dude,
bro.
just all like the dude must. I'm so serious. I'm gonna say at bare minimum he got 10,000 new Prime subs like that day.
Honestly, wouldn't be surprised.
It's insane. That guy. It blows my mind. Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to be a dick, and I'm not trying to step out on a limb that I shouldn't be stepping on. But Shroud is not my type of content. Me
neither.
Yeah, he's one of those where it is very intriguing to watch. It's very cool to watch and learn from a guy like that. Like, he does have so much experience in the games, and you can learn from guys like that strategies on how to play games, why he moved here, why he did that, whatever it may be. But for me, that content, it's not for me, bro. Like
not there. I can't sit and watch him for hours.
I can't either. Like I gotta watch somebody who's got personality. I want to see somebody talking, and I know a guy like that, like not only just him, but like streamers like that of that capacity have a tough time keeping up with chat. I mean, they do their best, you know, looking over and picking out a comment here and there and responding to it, whatever. But there comes a point in time where you can't do it, and I 100% understand that. But for me, that's not the content I'm into. I'm into the personality, people reading shit, talking, yelling, you know, being the true person they are, which is I like the kind of asshole. Like, I think that's funny. But you know, Shroud, for me, just don't get me wrong, I am in awe of his skill set. It's insane. I'll watch his YouTube videos if I want to, but never will you see me in his chat. And so
Well,
it blows my mind at how big of a welcome he had. But I think that's a little biased because it's not my content, so I'm like, oh well, like why are people watching this guy? You know?
Right. Yeah, I 100% agree. Like, because like a lot of people have been comparing Shroud and the Doc because they both returned around the same time. Both had pretty much the same welcome overall. You know. But it always kind of blows my mind because like you said, Shroud overall just, while he's streaming, his personality's kind of dry.
Right.
You know. But he can back that up with his gameplay, which is fine.
Yeah, he definitely can.
Whereas like Doc, he's got the personality and the production value. Like, dude is top notch and entertainer.
I mean, obviously he's the number one guy, right? Like when it comes to production, to quality, all that, he's without question a number one guy.
Yeah, and his gameplay is still there.
Yeah.
Like he still frags out. He still does very well in the games he plays. So like everybody's like comparing the two, and it's like it's kind of hard to compare them because they're not really the same. Yeah. And one thing that I was like talking to a friend of mine about too was Doc came back on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
He came back on a whole brand new other platform.
Mm-hmm.
And is still breaking records, right?
Yeah.
So you brought up Shroud getting like the crazy amount of Twitch Prime subs or whatever. I was looking up the numbers, and Doc got like 18,000 paid subscriptions his first stream.
Right, and if I'm correct in this, that's they don't have gifting.
No gifting and no primes.
Dude,
that's just 18,000 paid subscriptions off the rip in one day.
That's insane.
So imagine if there was gifting. Imagine if there was prime subs. Like Shroud still had like the same numbers and stuff, and I'm sure Shroud got a lot of gifted subs, a lot of paid subs. All his regulars and stuff that went over to Mixer and whatnot.
Yeah.
But what's crazy to me is when you compare the YouTube live to Twitch. Like Twitch has stupid amount of accounts.
Yeah, of course.
YouTube live doesn't have nearly the numbers that Twitch does.
Right.
So it's more impressive to me to see Doc go to a completely brand new platform.
Yeah.
Still crush numbers, still beat the top Twitch streamer.
Right.
In numbers.
I'm definitely with that. I never even thought about it like that. But yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It really does. I will say, while you were talking about that, you're talking about beating the numbers and coming back to, as opposed to coming back to your own platform that you've had and that you grew on and that everybody knows you from. One thing that sparked that was Ninja. So so Ninja has, if I'm correct in saying this, he has the most followers on Twitch ever, still to this date. He has like over 14 million. And
something like that, yeah.
I know when he came back, there was like all the hype about him because he was going to he did like his first stream on YouTube, right? I don't know how well that did. I didn't really hear a whole lot about it, which is kind of why I'm bringing this up and I'm in the dark because maybe but I know that he just came back to Twitch, correct? He just started streaming back again on Twitch and was nowhere near the numbers that Doc
nowhere near.
What does that say about Ninja? What does that say about that whole like I get it. I know that he's the biggest dude in the game, like to ever do it, right? As far as like marketing and branding goes, he's got to be the number one guy. But I mean, like, how much longer do you think my man's got?
And I mean, this is something like you and I have talked about numbers a lot. Like you and I talked about the numbers of like Mixer and stuff before they went under, and I told you I was like they're not gonna last like 2 years, and like a month later they went under or whatever. But seeing him come back, and I think he peaked at like 120,000 or something like that.
Which don't get me wrong, is a massive number. That is, dude,
nuts.
Think about 120,000 people in a fucking stadium. You can't fit them.
Yeah,
like that's crazy.
Yeah, bro. Even when I would stream and I would have like 15 people,
Yeah.
it's like, dude, I can't imagine like 15 people just chilling in my living room.
Right.
Like, dude,
That's
what?
always been a great a perspective thing. And for streamers that are out there that might be listening to this or whatever, never look at your number that's like, oh shit, well that's not anything. Like that sucks. Like that's not like
Straight up.
Say you have 15 or 10 people. We'll say you have 10 people watching you. And you're like, fuck, man. Well, I only have 10 people, but those 10 people are active in chat, and it's super cool, right? And you have a good time, but you're still down on yourself because those numbers aren't anything like somebody else's numbers. Like think of your favorite streamer, and oh my god, my numbers are nowhere near like his or hers, whatever it may be. But you take your number and you translate it into real life, and you
Real life?
hey man, there's 10 people in my living room right now. 10 people's a fuck ton of people in your living room. Like that's when
a
you're
lot
like,
of fucking people.
that's when you're like, hey man, can you guys go the fuck home? Like what? Like this is too many people. Like and the more that you put it into real life perspective things, the more I think that you'll really comprehend. Like holy shit, like that's a good, like I'm doing it. Like like dude, you can and the more that you grind it, and the more that you take pride in your craft, and the more hours that you put into it, more people are going to show up to the party, man. Eventually you got to buy a different place, and eventually we're meeting up at a bar, and eventually we're meeting up at the fucking football game, and eventually you are the football game, and so on, and then it's a fucking Super Bowl. Like, dude, it's all about putting that into real life perspective, as opposed to looking at somebody else's numbers and then going, well, fuck, man, my numbers suck, dude. Like, I'm never gonna make it.
Yeah, I agree 100%. It's like you start putting it into real life perspective, and then you kind of start to realize like there's levels to this.
Of course, of course.
You and I have talked, like, I don't ever want to be a content creator.
Mm-hmm.
If it happened, like if somehow my stream blew up overnight and it happened and I could make a living off of it, I would.
Right.
100%. I would lean into it real hard.
Right.
But I don't ever want to do that. I want to support those people. I want to be the guy in the background type stuff.
Yeah.
But going back to Ninja and all that stuff, I think he peaked at like 120 something thousand or whatever. And I don't think that he's going to continue to grow the same way that he had been when Fortnite was as good.
Fortnite's having a lot of issues right now. Jesus Christ.
Fortnite's having a lot of issues, and there's really nothing to like replace it at this point.
Yeah.
But for Ninja especially, like he grew up in the Halo comp scene, like
hardcore. Yeah. Cody used to play against him.
I know. I used to play against them too. I played Cody in an
that's
time.
Right. You did.
Yeah,
you told me about that. Yeah, that's crazy.
But yeah, so he grew up in the Halo comp scene. He blew up because he was really like the first person to have that like electric personality.
Right.
That also got the attention.
Yeah.
He jumped on Fortnite very early, and he had that personality to entertain as well as follow up with the gameplay.
Right.
Which was very rare at the time.
I agree with that. Yeah, absolutely.
But now there's so many people that have figured out the formula to like be good.
Yeah.
It's like I don't have to necessarily be as good, but I can make plays and just be entertaining.
Right.
And there's people that are way better at it than Ninja.
Of course there are.
Everybody talks shit about Nick Marks just literally being a forehead camp, but that dude's got a personality.
Dude, he does. Yeah. And he's got the gameplay to back it up.
Yeah, he's got the gameplay to back it up, and he's going to take that very far because his personality adapts. Ninja, from what I've seen, he's tried to adapt, but it just doesn't work for him. He blew up being the toxic, what the fuck did you say to me, you little shit? He blew up being that guy.
Right.
And then he tried to do the whole family friendly thing.
Which worked for a hot minute. When Fortnite was popping. Yeah.
Yeah, worked for Fortnite. And then now that Fortnite's on the downfall, there's other games that are coming up that are more, I guess, adult, you could say.
Right.
Tarkov's on the rise, Warzone's on the rise.
Yeah.
Valorant, where it's like more of a competitive, more of an adult scene, I don't think Ninja is going to be able to continue to maintain the numbers that he has.
Right.
Whereas a lot of the other streamers that played with him, as well as, I guess, competed against him, I guess you could say, are going to be able to continue to maintain their numbers and grow better. You know, the Tim the Tatmans, Nick Merckx, Dr. Lupo, Dr. Disrespect, you know, those people that have always maintained a more adult audience are going to be able to continue to hold that for longer, regardless of the game that they play, and be able to continue to grow regardless of the game that they play.
Yeah, that you make an incredible point there, because you know, and the thing is too is one of the things that and this is my personal opinion, I have no issues with Ninja. Now granted, I did have issues with Ninja for a little bit, because you know, I grew up, whenever I first started streaming, the H1Z1 Ninja is the Ninja that I watched, the Ninja that I enjoyed. I watched him with Summit and Dr. Disrespect all playing those games, and that was the Ninja that I grew up like watching and really enjoying. Like, I thought that to me was like streaming. That was what I wanted to do. I wanted to yell at kids, I wanted to be pretty good, and I wanted to have a fun time. So that Ninja was what I came up on. And whenever he phased into this whole family friendly thing, like, that's when I could personally tell, like, that he was, during stream, holding back his emotions and whatever he wanted to say to certain people or whatever was happening. Like, you know, that like, oh my God, oh, GG, man, good try, man, good try. Where in reality you would be like, dude, fuck you, like, dude, you fucking suck, like, and that's what I love, like, that's, and again, but I'm a more adult. I fall into that adult audience base, but the thing about that is, you know, when he transitioned from, you know, normal to family friendly, he gained a massive audience, right? He gained a huge audience. His numbers increased. All the families loved that their kids were watching Ninja because he was good, he was funny, and he was family friendly, right? But guess what? Those kids, they get older. Those kids grow up. And as they grow up, you know, I can imagine that some of the mindset is, oh, well, I used to watch him because he was like, my mom thought he was funny, like, you know, like, and my mom thought it was good for me to watch him because he was family friendly for me. But now I want to branch out because I'm growing older, like, and kids are growing older, and dude, there are kids that know cursing more than I do, and they're like 12. Like, I'm like, what are we talking about? So like, those kids will branch out and start poking around, and you know, when they join into somebody like Nick Merckx, into Tim the Tatman, into Dr. Disrespect, and even Shroud. Even Shroud is not family friendly by any means, but you know, whenever they join into that, it's almost like a connection now. And I know that Ninja is trying to move out of that, and he's not family friendly anymore. I know there was like a phase in time where they were doing like late night, where so like
the dark mode or whatever.
Yeah, and that was like kind of like the transition. But I know that can be difficult once the mindset is already stuck in, oh, well, he's family friendly, like, I don't even want to watch him anymore. Yeah. So like, I personally feel like that helped, that hurt him and helped other creators as they were like making their way up in the scene.
100%. You know, especially, you know, speaking of Ninja, Dr. Lupo is a perfect example of that. Yeah. You know, because like, he's always been, I guess you could say, family friendly, but he's not put on like some kind of fake persona. Right. You know? Yeah. Like, he's just been him. It's just he cut back on the cursing, you know, he would still talk shit, but it just would be without the curse words and so on and so forth. Yeah.
And he's a dad too, right? He's got that dad mentality, right? Yeah. Yeah.
But you know, he was playing Fortnite and he was like kind of the family friendly, but he would still also play other games that weren't, you know, like he would still play Tarkov and stuff. And then the roast of Tim the Tatman happened. Yeah. And that's when people are like, yo, we like that Dr.
Lupo. We want this. And
we want him.
And that's when he started doing dark mode, right? That dark mode, yeah. Like
he would play Tarkov with like dark mode or whatever.
And he would be drinking
like,
whiskey and hanging out. Yeah.
It'd be like 8 o'clock at night, and then he would stream until like midnight, playing an adult game with an adult audience.
Yeah.
And he realized, like, holy cow, I'm doing well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Blew him up. And then he kind of like adapted that, because when he still plays, Animal Crossing or Fortnite or whatever, he still has the family friendly vibe.
Right.
Which is awesome. It's 100% necessary depending on the game that you're playing. But when it comes to Tarkov, COD, all of those, he's just himself.
Absolutely.
And he does a very good job of flipping that switch, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Which I think for him, it might be a little bit easier, because he said he's a family man.
Yeah. Right.
He's got a kid and stuff.
Yeah.
So flipping that switch is a lot easier. But like, Ninja is just so different in that aspect, because like I said, I played Ninja in some Halo 2 games, Halo 3 games, so on and so forth, played Cody, blah blah blah, whatever. And seeing Ninja's hyper versus Ninja,
the brand,
it's two completely different people.
Of course.
Where like Tim, Nick, Dr. Lupo, CDN the Third, all these guys have been able to kind of like blend them into one.
Yeah.
And not like try to completely separate themselves, where Ninja just hasn't, and it's just not that great.
And we're not trying to shit on Ninja by any means, because none of this is taken in a context of hate or being like, fuck you, this guy sucks. It's one of those things where you got to look at it from both ends. So there's that side of the spectrum where we're like, well, he had to do this or decided to do this and it wasn't for us and whatever. But there is a thought of things too that's like, this is not a secure job. There's no retirement plan. There's no health insurance. There's no 401k. There's none of that shit, right? So you got to adapt to what you have. You got to set yourself up for a better life, for a better future, a more stable future. And I think in that aspect of things, I think he made a great decision. I think going 100%. To Mixer, I think going family friendly, I think doing all the things that he did set himself up for the future, and his kids and his family and friends and everybody. I think that the decisions that he's made has set up his entire future for, and he's good to go. Like, he's good to go. But I think
he's a multimillionaire.
Absolutely. But I think now that all that's said and done, now that the future's set up, if he's smart with his money, which I'm sure he is, I'm sure he has an entire team of people that deal with his financials.
All kind of planners.
I think he's perfectly good to go, especially after the payout from Mixer. My man is definitely good to go now. I think now is when we'll see that reignition, that new spark of him trying to come back and being the Ninja's hyper that we all watched, that we all grew up with. And I think maybe if it's not too late, if the people haven't already moved on and been like written Ninja off as like the family friendly guy and all the Fortnite, like that kind of thing, I think if nobody's written him off, and I think that if everybody comes back and really notices the potential, there will be that resurgence of Ninja back again. But I don't think it'll outshine Nick Merckx. I don't think it'll outshine Doc, Tim, Shroud. And I know that we're just talking about like the same couple people, but those are the big hitters in the game right now. Like that's who everybody knows. I mean, you can throw Lupo in there, you can throw Courage, you can throw Lyric, you can throw Force in, like XQC here and there, but I put them in their own category, unfortunately. But I don't think I think that people recognize and appreciate a human being genuine, and I think that guys like Nick, guys like all the people, well, especially Nick, especially Tim, especially Lupo, those are guys that are truly genuine from the bottom of their hearts and to the core, and I think that that's resonated with a lot of people for a long time, and I think it'd be pretty hard to deviate people from those streamers. So who knows, man? Who knows what'll happen with it though?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's like you said, none of this is like set in stone. This is one of those realms where anything can happen from day to day, week to week, and month to month,
Right.
you know. So tomorrow there could be some dude that, you know, has 30,000 viewers because
Right.
he did one thing,
Right.
you know. But the people that are succeeding right now have been the same person that they've always
The
been.
same
You know?
person, right? Yeah.
Like,
I'm
and it's like you said, like you have to adapt to the current market, right?
Mhm.
And I totally understand that
Right.
because in the end, all of this is a business. You
Mhm.
know, everybody, as much as they want to like say that they're in it for fun, if you have any hopes and dreams of, you know, streaming full time, whatever,
Gotta treat
you're
it
in
like
it for the money.
it's a
You're in it
business.
for the
Yeah.
money, and it's a business.
Yeah, you gotta treat
You
it
know,
like it's a business. Absolutely.
so you have to adapt to the market, but at the same time, you can adapt to the market without losing yourself. And
Right.
I think that's kind of where Ninja is kind of like almost lost himself a little bit,
Right.
you know. But I don't blame him
Yeah,
because
of course. How could you?
businessman, he's a multimillionaire.
Yeah. He's set up for
Dude.
life. He's good to go. There's nothing. You could say a lot of negative things about him, but you can't say anything negative business wise. He's made all the smart
Absolutely.
decisions, and you know the thing is you're right. You're right. You're right in saying that, you know, you can say it's fun. You can say it's all for fun, and you can say it's just like your hobby, whatever. And I agree with that in a couple of different ways. I agree with that in the sense of this job, this full-time streaming starts off as being fun. It's fun,
Yeah.
man. It's super fun.
Absolutely.
You're hanging out, like not a care in the world, just trying to make it, you know. You might get stuck in a few lulls where you're looking at your numbers all the time and you're like, Jesus Christ, this fucking sucks. Like I'm never gonna make it. But then you have that Friday night where everyone's popping in and it's fun and you guys aren't doing anything crazy. But you know, eventually, if you're right, if you have the dreams, if you have the aspirations to really turn this into a career, into that full-time job, it is a job. It is a business to make you like you don't keep a roof over your head if you don't go to your job, if you don't do your job. So there is without question that side of things for sure. And you have to adapt, or I mean there is that side of it that's like almost like the soul surfer of things, right? Where you're like, oh, well, I'm not going to adapt. I'm going to do whatever I want to. And eventually, I feel like personally that eventually that all comes back full circle and hits that like soul kind of like the person who was just streaming just to stream. And then people come back to them like, oh shit, like this is the content that I've been missing. Like this is like why have I been watching so-and-so when I could have been watching this? Like what the
100%.
fuck? Like what the fuck? It's a crazy business that we're in right now. It's wild.
It really is, you know. And I think, you know, it's like I talked about earlier, like I don't personally want to be a content creator. You know, it's like I do enjoy streaming. I love it. Like streaming, talking to the homies, it's awesome, playing video games. And, you know, the little kid inside of me is always like, dude, you could just make a living out of playing video games.
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like I can't see myself doing that because once you do kind of start making, you know, the business mindset side of things, it kind of changes it a little bit.
Of course. Yeah, dude. A little bit of that fun's gone, man. A little bit of that fun goes away.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like I don't want to lose that, you know.
I feel you.
So as much as I love gaming and esports and all that stuff, I would rather have something in the background, you know, marketing, social media manager, so on and so forth, working for an org, working for, you know, a streamer, whatever, in some other way other than content creation, and still be able to have the fun.
Yeah.
Still be able to do my dumbass streams and whatever when I can, you know. But I think like for dudes like you and all the full-time streamers, bro, you guys are fucking honestly, in my mind, you guys are doing the Lord's work, because, dude, it's tough, man. Like, for real.
It definitely can be. That's for sure. It definitely can be.
Yeah, it's tough, dude. You know, it's like I've tried the whole like I'm gonna stream every day, and there's been days where I'm like, I don't want to.
Yeah.
And I just don't. I just don't, because I
Yeah.
don't have to. You know, but like you guys, like, dude, you get up, you put on a show.
Yeah,
you
right.
know? And it's awesome.
That is the thing. It is a show. Like it is. Don't get me wrong. And when I say a show, I mean it's just it's an extension of my personality for people, right? It's like I was always getting in trouble for being like the class clown, right?
Of course,
always getting in trouble for like trying to make people laugh and trying to do like stupid shit in front of people when I shouldn't have been. And this, like, streaming to me is just an extension of that. Like, it's just, this is now my classroom. Like, these are just my classmates and the people that I get to fuck around with and yell at and be dumb. But you're definitely right. There is definitely, when the fucking off is done, it comes to like, all right, well, let's check out analytics. What time frame was working best for me? What game was I playing during that time frame? What do I need to do instead of that? Like
I gotta find the clips that were good, so I could throw these into a montage. I gotta make a tweet about it, dude. Yeah,
it is. And I by no means, I've talked about this a lot on here, on this podcast. Is, you know, like we're talking about, it is a job, right? But, and like with any job, it can be difficult, but I'm also I'm not gonna go out on the edge and say that we're fucking splitting the atom here, right? Like it's not we're like, dude, we're not sitting. I got 3 screens, right? But I'm not working at NASA, right? Like this is
like I'm not a fucking geologist here.
Yeah, dude, I'm not mapping out worlds, okay? Like this is just me showing up, playing video games and being dumb. Granted, every job, no matter how great it is, across all forms of working in the industry, every great job will have its downsides. And I do want I want to put emphasis on that, because there is the stigma of like, oh, well, you're playing video games, like, oh, you got the best job in the world. A guy told me that yesterday. I was having issues with my dryer, and he came in and he tried to get here really early, and I was passed the fuck out because I've been up all night streaming and gaming. And so when he called, he was like, yeah, so what do you do that you're up so late? And I was like, oh, well, I play video games for a living. I'm a streamer. And he's like, oh, man, you got the best job in the world. And my answer to that is yeah, something like that. Yeah, something exactly. Like, because there is, man, like, no matter, you can have the best job in the world, and there will definitely be shitty days of the best job in the world.
Dude,
no doubt. Dude, you could have a shitty day doing absolutely nothing. Like, literally nothing. You could just be sitting on your fucking couch and your TV goes out, and today is a shitty day because now you got nothing to fight. Like, everything has a shitty time, right? It's crazy.
Dude, sometimes I wake up and I have a shitty day.
Just in a shitty mood. It happens.
It's like, you know, I can just be like passed out, like, well, today's gonna be shitty.
Today sucks.
Here we go.
Exactly.
Like, I hate it. I hate it.
And that's what's always gonna happen, man. We're humans. It's the way of the world, and I think the only thing that you can do is try and climb out of that hole a little bit and wake up and do the little things right. And I think the little things will translate into the big things, and before you know it, things will be you'll be happy and you'll be excited to be doing shit even on shitty days.
Hey, true. Hey,
true.
And that's the thing. You gotta wake up, you gotta push through it, and just, dude, we sound like a dumbass motivational video.
Yeah. And we're not that.
I know, but it's all true stuff.
It is. It all does sound very cliche. It sounds like what fucking everybody else says. You can go to some random Instagram motivational speaker and put some sad music behind everything where they're saying, but it's the fucking truth, man. And it's one of those things where if I have that outlook, if I have that outlook on life and the things that I do every day, I can guarantee you can too. Like, dude, I'm one of the shittiest human beings on the face of this earth, and if I can have that, so can you, no doubt.
Same.
Well, listen, man. Let's wrap it up on that note.
Yeah, for sure.
I really do appreciate you coming on the show, man. It was super fun to talk with you. I mean, we've been at it now for an hour and a half. It doesn't even feel like that.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't feel like that
yeah,
at
it
all.
doesn't feel like that at all. But listen, where can the people find you at, man? Where you at?
Dude, my handles are so hard to explain. You already know that.
It's okay. There'll be links for all of it down below. Just say it.
Perfect.
That way everybody can hear it one time.
Okay. So my Twitch is twitch.tv/BerserkirBexxx. I'll probably be streaming more now that everything's kind of like slowed down for me. My Twitter is @BerserkirBexxx, and then I guess really that's all I need to focus on. So
Okay.
there you go.
Well, both of those. Well, I'll make sure both of those, and I'll throw the gram in there too, down in the description of the YouTube video, and as well as on all the places that you get your spot or your podcast from. But listen, dude. Again, I'm very appreciative. I appreciate you coming on the show, and
Dude, I appreciate
yeah,
you
man. Absolutely, dude. I'm hyped about it. But we'll talk very soon. And I appreciate you a lot.
Yeah, much love, homie.
All right, dude. Thanks, everybody.